Calling to order the Monday, March 4th, 2024 meeting of the 40th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Black.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gavin.
Here.
Councilmember Hennon.
Here.
Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Councilmember Villani.
Here.
Mayor Dean.
Before we do the first order of business, I just want to say that Mayor Dean's sorry that she's not able to be here tonight. She's actually at a governance conference in her role as trustee for the Workmen's Compensation Board. But the first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Support?
Motion made by Councilmember Hennon with support from Councilmember Villani. Any changes or corrections? Seeing none, Ms. Mitchell will please call the roll.
Black.
Yes.
Hennon.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Villani.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've now come to the portion of the meeting where you may present your thoughts on issues that are not included on tonight's regular agenda or are included on the consent agenda. Council members will not engage you in discussion. Please direct your comments to the chair and refrain from cheering, booing, clapping, or speaking out of turn. If your concern needs to be addressed by a member of city staff or department of the city, please sign your name on the sheets just outside the door. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it's being considered. When you come to the microphone, please state your name, city of residence, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, Carla Osborne, Berkeley resident. It's been since December, last time I was up here with you guys, when we passed our ordinance 01523 that requires retail pet stores to be licensed and abide by what we are requiring them to hold that license in order to sell animals within our city. That was passed and signed on December 4th. Was told January 4th would be 30 days. That's when it would go into effect. Was then told they were going to allow the business another 30 days to become compliant. So that would take us to February 4th. February 8th comes, made a visit to the store, and lo and behold, half of the stuff that's supposed to be done in order for them to be able to sell these animals in our city is not done. The cages cages, whatever you want to call them, do not have the required information on the outside of them. With the breeder, date of birth, vet records, price, tax, all of that, it's hit or miss. It's there for some, not for all. Some don't have any at all. Some have bits and pieces. There's nothing. A call was made to the city clerk's office to find out, have they submitted their required documentation in order to register the dogs coming in and out of the city? And we were told that, oh, we just sent that to them today. I've tried to find the positives because I don't want to come up here and just point fingers and be really negative, but I really couldn't find anything positive right now. We dropped the ball. Animals are suffering. Animals are coming into the store that are coming from puppy mills. We have proof of that now because they do have a few breeders listed on those crates. A quick Google search to the USDA shows these places are having 300-400 dogs breeding on their properties. Again, this is a puppy mill. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what we fought for the entire year of 2023, was to stop this. And it is continuing to happen. And most of you have my contact information. I did leave it outside. They were there, but I would like some answers as to where, why, how everything just kind of fell to the wayside. I did submit for a FOIA. It was just before the election. I understand that the election was very important and busy, but I submitted that back on February 9th, and I today still haven't received anything. So they did ask for their extension, you know, allotted time, but still, I have nothing. So if somebody could get back to me, also to show us where that information is available for us to review, is to the documentation of the dogs coming in and out of the stores. We were told that that was going to be available for us to review. We have not been able to find that located anywhere on the city's website or been told how we can obtain that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Carla. Mr. Baumgarten will follow up with Carla. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Scott Roberts. I'm here on behalf of 7 Point Dispensing of Michigan to talk about the city's favorite topic, which is cannabis. I'm here to formally request that you take the second reading off the consent agenda so we may discuss it in detail, and that you may consider our actual request, which was for 180 days, not the 45 days in the ordinance. So the issue here is whether or not you're going to allow my client and Yellowtail additional time to finish up their dispensary. To date, my client has spent over $2 million on this project, including about $700,000 on stormwater, which did not just benefit my client's parcels, but benefited all the parcels surrounding it. And we're requesting one 180-day extension at this point. And this is not an unusual extension request. This is actually something that's typical. And I say that because about 2 years ago, I was in front of the city of Ferndale, and I made this exact same request. And that extension request to amend the ordinance would have brought it up to 24 months. My 180-day extension request today would bring it up to 24 months. So all I'm asking you to do is to do what the city of Ferndale did already. There's already precedent for this. I'd also note that my proposal doesn't require you to say yes. It does not take away any additional means that you may have to block this. It also just says, you know, you can say no, but you can also say yes. But it doesn't mean you have to say yes. And, you know, there was delays in my letter. I sent a letter. I went through a lot of construction delays. There was also some criminal activity. There was some anti-Semitic threats. You know, there's a lot of stuff that happened. But I just want to make the point that, you know, this is cannabis. And cannabis, just for whatever reason, is always met with delays. And that doesn't matter if you're a city or a private business. For whatever reason, cannabis just takes longer. And we're asking you to understand that. Because, quite frankly, you know, you guys had some delays yourself. It took 6 months to go from ordinance to application. It took like a year to go from application to scoring. It took like over a year to go from scoring to licensing. It's almost 3 years. And we're asking for 2. So I just ask that you take that request seriously, you allow us to speak on it, and take it off the consent agenda, and that you consider a 180-day request so that, you know, we can all move together positively. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for being here to speak about it.
My name is Andrew Kovich, also appearing on behalf of 7 Point Dispensing of Michigan. Council members, myself and Scott come before you today to ensure that the City of Berkeley, 7 Points, and Yellowtail are using the most economically and financially efficient means to solve this issue. To approve a 45-day extension would be tantamount to the City of Berkeley divesting important excise tax revenue that the city could rely on annually. Now, the current MRTMA annual excise tax for the City of Berkeley is $59,000 for every licensed marijuana retail store, with 2 businesses paying these annual excise taxes to the City of Berkeley. That amounts to almost $120,000 a year in city revenue. For reference, $120,000 a year in revenue can pay the salary of 1 detective lieutenant in the City of Berkeley. It could also pay the full-time salary of 2 public safety officers. It could pay the full-time salary of 3 public safety dispatchers, or the full-time salary of 4 day camp directors, assuming they would work year-round. But that's not all. Relinquishing Berkley of these businesses and essentially divesting the $120,000 annual tax revenue would also divest the community of charitable giving initiatives pledged by both businesses, which include 2% net profits in the Tri-County Coalition, which battles substance abuse against teenagers. It would divest in veterans organizations like the Legion's Honor Guard and Michigan Veterans Returning Home. It would divest from Yad Ezra Food Bank, which is a kosher food provider in Berkeley. While it may not seem apparent to the city of Berkeley, it could use $120,000 for these charitable pledges and put it to good use, especially on a vacant lot that's sat for 7 years without a business inside of it. And the price to pay for that annual $120,000 a year annual revenue, is to work with these businesses and allow for an additional 180-day extension to compensate for unforeseeable circumstances. We are humbly asking that the city remove the 45-day extension from the consent agenda and instead to grant an additional 180-day extension so that 7 Point and Yellowtail can get their businesses up and running and in compliance with all state and city governments. The alternative is to flip a coin, to assume that 45 days is enough, and if it's not, $120,000 a year evaporates. That would be a coin flip. We're coming before you today instead to change the proposed ordinance to request one additional discretionary 180-day extension and to take the 45-day extension that was proposed at last week's meeting off of the consent agenda. Respectfully, please do the right thing. Expand the 45-day extension to an additional 180 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Manager, requisite staff. Thank you for allowing me to use this format to bring an important issue to your attention. My name is Jim Smith. I've been a Berkeley resident for just over 51 years, and I am one of 58 Berkeley Public Safety Department retirees. During my career in retirement, I have received 452 checks from the city. The majority were paychecks, some are contractual benefit checks, and the remainder are retirement checks. And over the years, these checks were received by myself, the other employees, in a timely manner. This past year, this timeliness has changed. The retirement checks for the month of August 2023 were late. There were 3 different excuses given for the delay, and individual retirees had to find out one of the excuses for themselves, and there was never an email from the city finance department offering a reason for the tardiness. Then again, 2 months later, the October 23 retirement check was late. A retiree did email finance department inquiring about the lateness, and a response from the interim finance director was received, and it stated, quote, "It was an oversight. It's in process now. They will have it tomorrow. Any issues, send them to me. If they incur any charges, they can send a copy of the statement with charges and we will cover them," unquote. Then in a separate one-word paragraph in all uppercase levels with an exclamation point was "sorry," exclamation point, which seems a little bit over the top for an apologetic sorry. Again, not any general notification to the retirees. And I'm going to run out of time, so I'll skip down. Yesterday was March 3rd, 2024. 57 of the 58 retirees had not received their 1099-R and able to file their 2023 income taxes. But in transparency, everybody got them today. And I'm going to have to skip to the end, but I can't help but wonder if the calls, the emails, visits to the finance department, visits to the city manager, along with correspondence from the Public Safety Retirement Board caused this 1099 our resolution to be solved in less than a week. And now that the chain of command and the chain of responsibility is made aware, I hope that the procedures are being developed and will be instituted as a fail-safe to prevent this issue from reoccurring going forward, bringing the finance department back to its previous level of efficiency. Thank you for your endeavors in this area, and thank you for the extra time.
Thank you, Jim.
Hi. My name is Jessica Worrell, and I am one of the founders of the Berkley Cares Food Pantry. And I come here today not to beg only for donations, but to let the residents know that we are still there. Since the the middle part of last year, we've had to cut our distribution from weekly to biweekly because donations are down, funds are down, donations of actual non-perishable goods are down. With food costs rising, income is not matching. We are seeing more and more and more people in need. Anyways, we're seeing more and more people in need. So I just came here to remind everybody that we are still there. We cannot operate without help from residents, donations. We did lose one of our major donors this year, so we're going to be feeling that pinch very shortly. We celebrated our 3rd year in operation in October. We are on track to have donated over 6,000 boxes of food, which equates to 6,000 families, which is not bad for a small, homegrown food pantry. We operate on the 2nd and 4th Saturday of every month. You can go to our website for information on how to donate, what goods we need most, where to donate on what days. If you are interested in volunteer opportunities, that information is there, as well as a downloadable form for the volunteer waiver. What else do I have here? Hold on. Oh, my last thing I was supposed to say was that if there is anybody or any company looking for opportunities to donate to a 501c3, especially local businesses, please consider us. We are, like I said, 501c3 operation, and we would love to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Hello. Good evening.
My name is Merrick Farber with Farber Companies. I'm here on behalf of 7 Point Dispensary and the 180-day extension. My companies, I've had multiple companies. Farber Bell did Patrick J's over here before it's El Patio right now. We did that fairly quick. I did 1-800 Mini Storage in Oak Park, multiple. I just did Dog and Pony in Oak Park. I did Berkley Coffee in Oak Park. And I do multiple Five Guys in about 6 weeks. We go in, we got 6 weeks, you get, we're finished and they turn it over, it's turnkey. They hired me recently to do this job. I feel we can knock it out real quick. I have a track record, and I just wanted to let you know 180 days should be sufficient. So I just wanted to let the board know where we stand. All right?
Thank you, Merrick.
Yep.
Good evening, all. I'm Hillary Bahri. I'm here on behalf of Yellowtail Ventures. I'm going to keep it short, simple, and sweet. We are going along with Brother Council and everyone else here, asking for another 180 days at this point. Obviously, as you guys all know, I'm sure that we came on as new investors at this point, so we already faced many delays from the beginning of that. By the time we got the transfer and the approval of all that good stuff, we could barely get started. We had delays facing of no fault of our own, from DTE and other subcontractors and whatnot from the city. We just started digging today, and we don't know the delays that are going to take place once we hit the ground on that part. We are asking for 180 days, and my clients have spent an exasperous amount of money at this point just try to get this done. If you guys have paid attention to the site, we've been working every single day, all day, even when we weren't allowed to go there. We've had contractors there drawing up plans, building, doing everything that they possibly can in order just to get a little bit ahead of the game. Again, has been a little bit hard, especially because of the delay from DTE. So we are asking a little bit more than just that 45 days. 180 days should be sufficient enough. I'm sure for myself and the other company, if we're done earlier, we'd all be happy about that. But just a little bit longer is all we need, and that would make us extremely happy, and it would be very generous on your behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. Anyone else for public comment? All right, Ms. Mitchell, have we received any correspondence for public comment this evening?
We have not.
Great, thank you. All right, we're going to close public comment and move on to the consent agenda. Ms. Mitchell, can you please read the items on tonight's consent agenda?
1, approval of the minutes. Matter of approving the minutes of the 40th regular city council meeting on Monday, February 5th, 2024. Special city council meeting on Monday, February 5th, 2024. And special work session on Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. 2, warrant. Matter of approving warrant number 1395. 3, ordinance number 0224. Matter of considering the second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 15, marijuana businesses, Section 30-806, license application evaluation, and Section 30-807, license limit, in Chapter 30, businesses of the City of Berkley Code of Ordinances.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Hennon with support from Councilmember Black. Are there any corrections, additions, or comments? Councilmember Baker.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you in the command chair tonight.
You get the B team tonight.
we miss Bridget, but you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you for your service. During the first reading, I did vote against the ordinance as proposed. So although the minutes I believe are in order and look fine to me, and the warrants is of course important to execute, I'll be voting against the consent agenda tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Ms. Mitchell, can you please call the roll?
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Villani,
Yes.
Baker,
No.
Black,
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes. The consent agenda has been approved. Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 1 on tonight's regular agenda?
Recognitions, presentations. Matter of receiving any recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
Seeing none, Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 2 on tonight's regular agenda?
Resolution number R224, matter of approving a charitable gaming license resolution recognizing the Berkley Football Boosters as a charitable organization.
Is there a motion to approve R0224?
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson with support from Councilmember Villani. Mr. Baumgarten, should we start with you?
Absolutely. Thanks, sir. This comes before you from the Berkley Football Boosters, who have created a 501c3 in order to support our local football team. This is under the charitable gaming license or laws. This comes before the city council before they can move forward on holding a raffle. They have to get this acknowledgement from the local governing board. A copy of the submittal to the state was included in your packet, and you are joined this evening by Ms. Carla Osborne.
Hi, Carla.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I brought some people along with me, a couple of the boys. Our lovely leader here, Lisa Collins, is our president of our boosters, and our newly Coach Casey Humes, who's also a Berkley alum. And so Casey came up from JV this year and was promoted up after a season not unlike our past seasons with the Detroit Lions. We are looking for a complete rebranding of our team. And Casey is the right person to do that. He has created a whole new culture shift for us, a new branding, and that also includes getting more parent involvement, hence the reason why we formed the boosters. And the money, if anybody, is curious what Boosters money goes for, this supplements what the school district can't give to us in our budget. For instance, our big thing that we're purchasing this year is we are spending about $4,700 on concussion caps for the football players, which is a huge need. Obviously, we want to protect those brains of the young developing brains that they have here. And that's just not something that is in the budget when it comes from the school. So we're there to help raise those funds to supplement those things. That also goes to team building activities, more involvement for the kids to be able to get out and do things. So that's pretty much it. We do all sorts of different fundraising. The boys are looking for lots of volunteer opportunities. They will be available for anything that the city has to offer. Feel free to reach out. We're happy to put them to work to get some volunteer hours in. We're hoping to give back to the community so that the community then maybe will, come in, show some faces in the stands, and pump us up a little bit. So, any questions?
Great. Thank you, Carla. Before we jump into discussion or questions, any public comment on this? No? Okay. Discussion from council. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you again, Mayor Pro Tem. Carla, thank you and the folks here tonight for bringing this to us, and congratulations, Coach. And I looked forward to another season of shivering in the bleachers and enjoying a turnaround season. I think that's fantastic. Tonight's application is around a gaming license, and what you've explained is some very good thoughts around general fundraising. Can you get a little bit more into why the gaming license is something that you're in particular interested in?
So the state of Michigan considers 50-50 raffling a gaming. Needs a gambling, a gaming license. So in order for us to hold those at our football games or any other type of sporting event that we might be participating in, we have to have that license through the state in order to participate with that. So that's why it's just one more hurdle for us to go through to get to this. So
Thank you for that additional clarity.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other comments, or Councilmember Hennon?
Yeah, want to thank you for you and all the boosters, what they're doing. If people wanted to find out more information, where might they go?
So Lisa has the website, and I'll have her come up and.
We do have a Facebook page. It is berkleybearsfb.com. I'm sorry, that's our website. Incorrect. That's the website. Berkley Bears Football is the Facebook page. Both of those are currently updated with as much of the new information that we have coming out with the new coaching staff, our new 501c3. So it's a work in progress, but the new schedule is up there for this upcoming season, and any updates that we have will be posted regularly there.
All right. And I know Berkeley Days are looking for volunteers and paying for it. So
We've already saw that post and started writing down names.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Got some strong boys here to help set up and take down.
Any other comments or questions? Councilmember Villani?
Well, as a Berkeley Bears parent, can we be a Barent? Is that the
Sure.
name there? But,
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? On the spot there.
Yeah.
So this Barent is very excited to come back and see everything that you do, Coach, next year, and the players as well. I know Councilmember Baker and I have sat together at some of those games and looking forward to it next year and to see a winning season. So awesome. Excited to support the cause, too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Black?
Yes, I'm full disclosure. I'm so excited, not just for Casey, but what struck me is when I got a chance to talk to him, one of the things that he talked about is not just volunteer opportunities, but also having a chance to have his players connect with people in their community, because he understands that, you play football for 4 years, but you might be in this community for the rest of your life. So I love that was one of the first things he talked about in his culture was a culture of good kids, that he wanted to see, great football players, but also see them become great men. So, I'm really excited to see what we're able to do with that. So not just about volunteering and having them do stuff, but having them with the right people to also mentor them. And I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Another thing that we're interested in is just kind of getting these kids out to be seen by everyone in the public. I know you guys come to the games and you only know them by a number or the name on the back of their jersey, but for me, accountability is big. And when you give your time and you give your time to other people with no financial gain or I guess social gain, it also gives a deeper understanding or a value for the little things that you do. So I think that having our guys active in the community, it also, like Ms. Osborne said, that it allows for the people within the city to get to know the boys. So then on Fridays or when we're doing our card sales and we're knocking door to door or we're stopping people at the 12-mile parade, it isn't like a stranger approaching you to ask you for something or like a kid that you've never seen or never spoken of or your neighbors have no idea who they are. I want my boys to be active and to be known in the community. Also for me, a little selfishly, they can't mess around in the city if the people within the city know who they are. Because that first call is to their coach and then we take care of it with the parents. But it's just an accountability thing for me. And then once these guys are able to give a piece of themselves, you kind of gain a little bit of integrity for the things that you're doing. So then the bear that you play for on the front, it means a little more because the people that are cheering for you on your stands aren't just your mother or your father or your sister, your neighbor, the neighbor down the street, the people who you helped over the summer are all coming to the game to kind of show that same support that our players have for the city. So I thank you guys for acknowledging us as a 501c3.
Any other comments? Well, it was all said much more eloquently than I can, so I will just say a heartfelt thank you. Congratulations, Coach. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Lisa. I think this is certainly fills a great need, and we're excited that you brought it before us, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Mitchell, can you please call the roll on R0224?
Patterson?
Yes.
Villani?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Hennon?
Yes.
Gavin?
Yes. Resolution has passed.
Thank you, guys.
Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 3 on tonight's regular agenda?
Motion number M924, matter of approving the purchase of one 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew 4x4 police responder pickup for $49,273 for the Department of Public Safety from Longhammer Ford, 1960 East Main Street, Owasso, Michigan 48867. From the vehicles account 101-345-985-000. This vehicle will replace an existing patrol vehicle that was totaled in a crash and be purchased via the 2024 Vehicle State of Michigan contract number 071B7700180 and Macomb County contract number 21-18 bid.
Is there a motion to approve M0924?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Hennon with support from Councilmember Baker. Mr. Baumgarten.
Just two quick process notes. As mentioned in the motion, we are purchasing this through a purchasing consortium through the state of Michigan and as well as at the county level. Longhammer Ford Chevrolet has, Longhammer Ford has had this bid for quite a while. We've purchased some vehicles through them before, but it's a competitive bid through this consortium. It's the state actually steps in and helps municipalities get the best deal possible and by running this consortium. So we're very grateful for it. We've made use of it in the past and have remained very happy and quite satisfied that we're getting the best price through this. And then also, as mentioned in the motion, this is not an addition to the fleet. This is a replacement of a vehicle in the fleet.
Thank you very much. Chief, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. I think Mr. Baumgarten explained it pretty well. This is a replacement of a vehicle. We did opt to purchase a Ford pickup truck as opposed to the Explorer. This vehicle, well, to give you some insight, we ordered 2 Explorers back in June of last year. We got the first one last week. Still waiting for the second one. We're told the turnaround is much quicker with the pickups. Several departments around us have the pickups. We have a couple that are not marked cars right now. We're very happy with them. So that's why you'll see the change in from an Explorer to pickup.
Thank you. Any public comment on this? No? Discussion from council. Councilmember Hennon?
Yeah, I just wanted to note that, while the motion gives the price tag, it's largely covered by insurance proceeds from the accident.
Yes, sir. The price of the pickup is $49,273, and the insurance payout was $41,664.66. So there is some expense, but not nearly the whole thing. And quite honestly, the vehicle that was totaled, we were having some mechanical issues, so it's not a good thing, but it's a good thing it happened in this car.
Not related to the accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good clarifying.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mentioning.
Bringing it up, Councilmember
Thank you.
Hennon.
That's all.
Any other comments or questions? Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, and thank you for the explanation and the clarity, and hopefully we received this in fewer than 11 months or so from the last one. Given the shift in the vehicle type, I imagine there's any training or special equipment required for this type of vehicle as opposed to the Explorers? Is there anything extra that our folks need to do?
These vehicles are pursuit rated, so they're just like the Explorers, and this is the only pursuit rated pickup that we're aware of. I know I think Chevy may be working on one. I heard we're here recently, but Ford is the only one we have so far. Yeah. And can I just say, not to go off on a tangent, I'm glad Jack's out here not asking questions. Maybe even be able to help me answer them too this time. Yeah, thank you. As far as equipment goes, every couple of years they change the Explorer anyway. We have to buy new cages or adapters or whatever. So. And a lot of that equipment that was in the other car would have to be replaced anyway. So there is a little bit of a cost, but nothing, not much more than usual.
Great, and to your point, it operates effectively like that from a operator's perspective.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Well, we're going to open up a second public comment for Jack to ask questions. No, I'm just
I shouldn't have said anything.
I'm just kidding. Any other comments or questions? All right, Ms. Mitchell, can you please call the roll on M0924?
Villani?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Hennon?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Gavin?
Yes. Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 4 on tonight's regular agenda?
Motion number M1024, matter of approving the purchase and installation of a new 4-post vehicle lift from Equipment Distributors, Inc. for the amount of $17,781.91. Funds are allocated in the 2023-2024 fiscal budget under account number 101-443-982-000 Public Works Garage Equipment.
Is there a motion to approve M1024?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Baker with support from Councilmember Patterson. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you very much. Just typical process note, this was an item that was competitively bid. In this case, the benefits, as noted in the memo, were not just in monetary terms, but also allowed us to ensure that we were getting the exact item that we were looking for, and not just taking whatever was around based on the return. So kudos to Mr. Young for his knowledge in this field, and he was able to develop a good RFP, and as well as to take that knowledgeable eye and review the returns as well.
Great. Director Young.
Thank you. So this hoist replaces the original hoist that was installed with the building back in 1953. Fortunately, it got to the point where we had to pull it out. It was becoming unsafe. So we pulled that out, re-poured the floor, and this would be the replacement. The 4-post hoist differs from the original. Cars are made a lot different now, if you imagine what they were in the 50s. This will allow us to get in and out quicker for oil changes and public safety. We're always working on their cars. But it'll allow us to get in and out quicker with oil changes, normal maintenance, service type stuff. But this is phase 1 of 2 phases. The other portion would be an alignment rack that we want to add on in the future to be able to do the alignments in-house. Right now, every time somebody bangs a curb or something, we have to do an alignment. We have to outsource that. And that can take several days before we get the car back. We did have 4 bidders on this. 2 of them were not the correct item. Weight capacity was different or just didn't meet the spec. There were 2 bids that were really close, but one was out of state, one was New York, the other one was local and had experience in town, and that's where we're gonna go for our parts and service anyways, so it made sense to purchase it from them.
Great, thank you. Any public comment on this? Okay, discussion or comments from council? Councilmember Baker?
Thank you. I just admiration to you and the team for keeping an eye on this thing, and holy smokes, 71 years, something like that, huh? You know, a lot's changed since then, and I'm looking forward to seeing this equipment in production and being able to help service us for many, many years to come. So really thankful for this and for, again, for the terrific work that you and the team do to help keep the city moving forward. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? No. Ms. Mitchell, can you please call the roll on M1024?
Baker,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Belani,
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes. Motion is passed. Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 5 on tonight's regular agenda?
Motion number M1124, matter of approving the agreement with the Michigan State Housing Development Authority to provide federal funds under the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund to help assist qualifying residents at no cost.
Is there a motion to approve M1124?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson with support from Councilmember Villani. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you. You're joined this evening by City Treasurer Brian Bemis, who's been working with one of our residents who is interested in this program and has gone through a big portion of the process in order to participate and reap the benefits of this program. But in order to have this individual follow through with it, we do have to have a local operating agreement with MISHDA to take part in the Michigan Homeowners Assistance Fund. So that comes before you this evening by way of the City Treasurer's Office.
Thank you very much. Treasurer Bemis?
Thank you. Basically, this program was developed in 2020 to assist those that are both low income and have the effects of COVID-related hardship. And so that's what this was all developed for. The program seems to be at the tail end of the situation, but it would be good that we were a part of it, because they're looking at how much funding they're going to have left from the federal government. And so essentially we'll be prepared in case there's more, or more becomes available. The program is a good program. We have received funds from the county under this program for taxes. This will be the water portion of it. And so I respectfully ask you to consider it.
Thank you very much. Before we move discussion from council, any public comment? Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, I did receive one email regarding this item. Hello, my name is Marla Meltzer, and I have been a resident of Berkeley for 22 years. I am asking the City Council to please approve the MSHDA My Half program so that myself and other residents with COVID-related problems and illnesses can get assistance from the program. The city has to be a partner of My Half in order for a Berkeley resident to get help with their water bill. There is absolutely no cost to the city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Discussion from council. Councilmember Black?
Thank you. Mr. Bemis, when we talk about a COVID-related hardship, are we talking about someone that had COVID and then experienced long-term side effects, or what, when we say COVID-related hardships, can you kind of give me an idea of what we're talking
Well, from
about?
what I understand, and again, this is all certified by MISHDA, it is both long-term COVID, or if they suffered a hardship and got behind because they had COVID for a length of time. But again, it has to be certified through MISHDA at the right income levels and that kind of thing so that they can get qualified.
Councilmember Black, you're good?
Yeah, thank you.
Councilmember Hennon?
Yeah. I think my understanding is, though, that right now the program's full and the wait list is full, and unless other funds become available.
Right, and that's what they're looking at. From the information I've gotten, back in December 28th, that's when they stopped the waiting list, mainly so that they can disperse and get as much of the funds dispersed and then they'll make a determination if they have more funds. But right now, it is closed off. This lady that we're dealing with has been pre-approved and is all set. I've talked to them at my half, and they're prepared to pay for hers, and without any participation by the city as far as financially.
So I just, ask staff if more money becomes available that we start to promote that. I also want to mention I ran into while I was looking at this, just for people in general need of help, they can dial 211 and that will connect you to a directory service that will help you find the assistance you need, or that's also mi211.org.
And may I add, there is also another program available for water in general called the RAP program, and that is also available on an income-based need.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
I
Councilmember Patterson?
just thank you for looking into this for that resident. I know you and I have been communicating a little back and forth as well, so I appreciate that. And it is a free service to our city to help our residents, so it's always nice to be able to do that for free.
Thank you. Any other comments? No? All right. Ms. Mitchell, would you please call the roll on M1124?
Black,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes. Motion is passed. Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 6 on tonight's regular agenda?
Resolution number R324, matter of approving a resolution authorizing the adoption of the Oakland County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Is there a motion to approve R0324?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Black with support from Councilmember Patterson. Mr. Baumgarten?
Thank you. Unsurprisingly, this item comes to you by way of our emergency management coordinator, Mr. Jack Blanchard. Jack does a phenomenal job of staying up on these things with support of our with the support of our public safety department as well as administration as a whole. I'm not sure how much time emergency manager Blanchard spends on these things, but I believe this document itself is upwards of 900 pages. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, it's 977 pages, and the clerk refused to attach it to your packet.
Thank you, Victoria.
But the amount of time that Jack spends making sure that these things are of benefits to the community, are proper in their form, and are ready to go should the moment call on it. I can't even imagine how much time Jack spends. He does this as a volunteer position. He's asked for us to double his pay, and we've said no. But it's a real credit to him where we are today because of his efforts in this field.
Emergency Manager Blanchard.
Thank you. I'd like to be working on this since July. And a lot of you and the mayor has been to meetings on this. It is the multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation program. When the draft came out about a week ago, I found an error in it. And it had Berkley on a list that we shouldn't have been on because it wasn't a good list. It was something we've accomplished. And with the great help of the Community Development Department and Kim there, we pulled together the documentation, submitted it to the county, and I went up and twisted the arm of the guy that's in charge, and we got that corrected. So that was the only error I noticed. What this plan does is it covers many, many things, but it covers all of the hazard mitigation plans from all of the 63 CVTs in the county. And if you're interested in putting in a grant for any hazard mitigation stuff, you have to have been active in the development of this plan and hopefully had a precursor in there saying, we think this is going to come in the future. So you kind of front and load this stuff with things you want that are in a hazard mitigation area, and that covers you for the next 5 years. We've got about 12 pages of documents that were put in to explain things that we would like to do to resolve some of the things. And it's things like a new community center that could be used as a shelter, that type of stuff. It is possibly putting in rain gardens in some of the boulevards or some of the public spaces, things like that that we thought about that we may want to do in the future. And so we put that all together, put it in the plan. There are a number of other things in the plan. The thing that we got tripped up on that they said we were on the naughty list for was flood insurance. and flood-related ordinances, but we got that corrected. It was from way back, and it had been carried over into plans because there is a corporation that comes out and develops these plans for the county, and we all input through computer programs and fill out things on a computer, and somehow this never appeared in any of our documentation we had to approve, but we got that corrected now, so we're good on that. So, are there any questions?
Any questions from council?
Anything from the hecklers?
Councilmember Black.
Not that you have not made yourself indispensable, but what is our succession plan for when you're gone?
Well, you know, I went to the city manager a while ago and I said, what's the mandatory retirement age? He says, how old are you? I said, 80. He said, 85.
Ask me again in 5 years.
So, yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Just, you know.
Any other comments or questions? Any public comment on this? Well, just to echo my colleague, thank you, Jack. You know, you're an extraordinary asset on council, and you haven't missed a beat as emergency manager. So we appreciate everything you do and the value, certainly, that all these plans, not just tonight, but all these plans that you've worked on that basically put us in a situation where having to respond to an emergency, we're not having to worry about do we qualify for funding or not. And so having...
Next up is a debris management plan.
All right. Well, we'll see you soon then. All right. Thanks, Jack. Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll on R0324.
Hennan,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes. The resolution has passed. Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 7 on tonight's regular agenda?
Resolution number R424, matter of considering updates to the Berkley Community Development Department fee schedule effective March 5th, 2024.
Is there a motion to approve R0424?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Hennan with support from Councilmember Valani. Mr. Baumgarten?
Thank you. As we do from all of our departments do from time to time, we take a look at the fees and make sure that we are covering the city's costs. Those items that aren't covered by the general tax obligation, we typically try to recoup those through fees themselves. This is especially true for probably community development department just as much as it is for any others. So the director, working with her staff, have reviewed the various fees and have submitted some updates to you highlighted in yellow in your packet.
Director Kapelansky, good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So I will touch on the 3 different categories of fees that are in your packet this evening. If you'll all remember, there was an ordinance for parklets 4-6 months ago, something like that. So we're getting to parklet season, which is great. And as part of that, this is the last piece in the implementation of that. So my staff and I did a review of what we should charge for the parklet permit review. The suggestions that are made, $450 for a new parklet and $200 for a renewal, are in line with other communities in the area, and they will cover our staff time in terms of inspections and the administrative work that is to be done with permitting. So if this were to be approved tonight, I do plan to get the parklet information up on the website later this week. It would include an application, a quick reference guide, the ordinance, and then this fee is the last part. You'll also recall about a year ago, we did a pretty comprehensive, or 6 months ago, excuse me, a pretty comprehensive overview and look at all of our building permit fees. So as we started to implement that, and we start to see some of the spring work applications roll in, porches and decks, it seems like we might have asked for a little bit too much, and they really need to be called out as a separate category instead of the standard building permit fee. So that's suggested at $100. Again, that's in line with all of the surrounding communities and should also cover our time. That's really not too much of a review for our staff. And then lastly, the past couple years, DPW has been helping us out with grass cutting for property owners who are struggling to cut their grass. And then the same thing could hold true for snow removal as well. So we've had a couple years now to see how much time the DPW is really spending in terms of mobilizing their resources and going out there and cutting the grass. And it works out to be about $250. So that's what we're suggesting for grass cutting and snow removal. It will streamline things from a staff perspective so that we can automatically charge that instead of assessing each one based on the number of hours DPW puts in. Obviously, if there's a more extensive cleanup that's needed or it's a much larger yard, we would reserve the right to charge more hours if more time is needed. So that is all the fee updates that we're proposing. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Any public comment on this before moving to discussion from council? No? Okay. Discussion from council. Councilmember Hennon?
Yeah, 2 questions. You mentioned snow removal. That's in the commercial districts only, right?
Yes, I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. Yes, commercial districts only.
Right. And then the second question, it may be early, but have we had any interest expressed in parklets yet?
Yes, we have had a couple businesses. Before I came forward with the ordinance, actually, I did go to the businesses that I thought would be a good fit for that, and they did express interest. So I had like a one-pager I would hand out. This is a parklet. This is what you would expect to be pay to get one installed. And yeah, we have 2 or 3 businesses interested. I hope someone bites. We'll see.
I just realized this. Do you want to maybe define a parklet for people at home?
Sure. So a parklet is a fun planning term, but really all it means is, you may have seen during the pandemic, these pop up all over the place. It is a temporary outdoor seating area that someone occupies, uses a parking space. So usually it has a raised platform. There's a whole bunch of rules in regards to railings and ADA accessibility, but it provides for an additional outdoor eating space for diners.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? No? Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you being here and bringing this in front of council. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll on R0424?
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes. The resolution has passed. Ms. Mitchell, can you please read item number 8 on tonight's agenda?
Ordinance number 0324, matter of considering the first reading of an ordinance to amend section 30-107, inspection of owner-occupied business properties of the City of Berkeley Code of Ordinances, to update the policies and procedures for inspection of owner-occupied business properties.
Is there a motion to approve O0324?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson with support from Councilmember Hennon. Mr. Baumgart?
Similarly with fees, our departments will sometimes review ordinances to make sure they are likewise meeting their intended purpose. In this situation, our Community Development Department has noticed a opportunity for improvement to the existing ordinance as cited in your packet.
Great, thank you. Director Kapolansky.
Yes. So in this particular instance, we're dealing with owner-occupied commercial businesses. There's a separate ordinance that deals with rental-occupied businesses. And there's a provision in the owner-occupied business section, which I should note that does not exist in the rental-occupied business section, that allows for a building to be inspected at 4-year intervals instead of 2-year intervals. All of our rental businesses are inspected at 2-year intervals. The point of these inspections is mainly for life safety concerns, but we do cite other property concerns as well if they come up. In the course of implementing this, there really hasn't been a good way to decide who gets the 4-year instead of the 2-year and who doesn't. It's hard to quantify major and minor violations. Obviously, your life safeties are going to be major violations, but when there's a longer list of minor violations, how many minor violations might constitute a major violation, et cetera, et cetera. So, in light of that, we're proposing that 4-year interval be removed and that all businesses, owner-occupied or rental, would be inspected at 2-year intervals.
Thank you. Any public comment on this? Seeing none. Discussion from council? No? Oh, Councilmember Baker.
Yeah, thank you. I want to, again, thank you and the team for your dedication and focus on this kind of stuff. The reliability and safety of the businesses that our residents and our visitors choose to patronize is very important, and plus for the people inside the building, employees and whatnot. So I'm really happy to see this progress. I think the 2-year window makes a lot of sense. For all the reasons that you stated, and I'm really glad to see this before us tonight. So thank you and the team.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Mitchell, would you please call the roll on O0324?
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes. Ms. Mitchell, would you please read item number 9 on tonight's agenda?
Motion number M1224, matter of authorizing the city manager to sign the application for additional service credit purchase for Lori Fielder, approving 2 years of additional service credit. This purchase is allowed by the City of Berkeley Merit System of Human Resource Management, Section 1001 0.08 and meets all of the requirements of the MERS plan document, which would allow for this service credit purchase.
Is there a motion to approve M1224?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Villani with support from Councilmember Patterson. Mr. Baumgarten?
Thank you. These come before council from time to time, but a little explanation is always helpful on this. The Berkley Merit System of Human Resource Management, as cited in the motion, is our non-union document that stands really in place of a collective bargaining agreement. So it is put together by a collection of employees. It's reviewed on occasion, and ultimately it does come before council for adoption and approval. In that document, as stated in the motion, it does provide for these service time purchases, which are also allowed through MERS, which is the Michigan Employment Retirement System, which is the system in which the city is elected to operate under. So this, we know, is a mutually beneficial agreement that helps both the employee as well as the city as well, because this time is purchased in essentially present value as opposed to being assessed to the community over time. And so this is a nice benefit that we offer our employees. It is something that's been approved by council already, and we have two applications that come before you this evening, one from Ms. Fielder and one from Mr. Young.
Thank you very much. Any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, discussion from council? All right, great. Well done. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll on M1224?
Baker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Hennon?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Villani?
Yes.
Gavin?
Yes. The motion is passed. Ms. Mitchell, please read item number 10 on tonight's agenda.
Motion number M1324, matter of authorizing the city manager to sign the application for additional service credit purchase for Sean Young, approving 5 months of additional service credit. This purchase is allowed by the City of Berkley Merit System of Human Resource Management, Section 1001.08, and meets all of the requirements of the MERS plan document, which would allow for this service credit purchase.
Is there a motion to approve M1324?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson with support from Councilmember Villani. Mr. Baumgarten?
Largely the same explanation applies to as the previous item. This situation is unique as Mr. Young is funding the amount cited in your packet. There is not a cost splitting between the city and the employee on this.
Any public comment on this? Seeing none. Discussion from council. All right. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll on M1324?
Black?
Yes.
Hennon?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Villani?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Gavin?
Yes. The motion has passed. We've now reached the communications portion of tonight's regular agenda. Ms. Mitchell, who's going to go first tonight?
Councilmember Hennon.
Great. Councilmember Hennon?
All right, the tree board just had their meeting last week, a pretty quiet meeting. They're looking at fundraising opportunities, including looking at going to Berkley Days, and we have a very minor update to our tree ordinance coming probably at our next meeting, and their next meeting will be March 25th. The Zoning Board of Appeals, on the other hand, was very busy. The gas station at 11 Mile was denied their request for a use variance based on the fact that it hadn't been a gas station for over 8 years and had lost its non-conforming status, and that there's other uses that the property can be used for. A variance for building a home on an empty lot on Columbia between Stamford and Woodward was approved. It was previously denied, but they came back with a smaller home, and that made it the minimum necessary, and so they were approved. And then a parking variance was granted for the warehouse that's at the former Draught location. It's always been a warehouse and has always been in use with that many parking. So they put condition on the number of employees so it doesn't get out of hand, but approved that. Their next case will be, or they have no cases to hear in March and don't know about April yet. And then just finally, communications. I'd like to think we've been improving in communications, but what we're doing just isn't working. We have to do better, and something needs to change. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Black?
Thank you. So we'll be speaking with Director Flora this week regarding the Committee on Technology and Engagement. So looking forward to seeing the progress there as we try to determine what this new reality is going to look like. We are very excited. I had the opportunity to participate in the Black History Month / Veterans video, and that was released, so it was very interesting to see myself on camera with my beautiful wife, also an Army veteran. So, and Director Flora was there supporting us, so it was very, very good to have that team atmosphere and have Team Berkley representing us. So, and the video turned out very, very well.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Baker?
Hey, that's me. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Downtown Development Authority, DDA, the directors met on February 14th. A couple of quick things. On the west side of 12 Mile over there, where they're working with DTE and the poles there to help provide additional energized places so we can have illuminated lights and holiday decorations and things. So that's pretty exciting. And there's some installations there's some work underway to add additional art installations throughout our downtown. More to come, but I'm pretty excited about the initial hints of what they're talking about there. And if you'd like to learn more about those hints and see any of the other cool things that are coming up, including various events as we head into St. Patrick's, please check out downtownberkeley.com. The Historical Committee. So as we've proclaimed in prior session, March is Women's History Month. And in honor of Women's History Month, there's a special exhibit honoring Maybelle Fraser. I just had some time with Jeff in the museum just before the meeting to again see it. It's a fantastic display. It honors her and her contributions to the city and helps share many of the exciting things that she's done. When you think about the work that she accomplished leading up to her election as mayor in the mid-90s, there's a lot of ceilings that she had to break through, and she's brought a fair amount of attention to the community with news organizations and things like that in her day. So you can certainly check that out and much more, and help honor and celebrate her and her accomplishments and the progress that we've made as a community at the museum. The museum is open on Sundays from 2 o'clock until 4 in the afternoon, and on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And for more information on that, you could visit berkeleyhistory.com. And finally, it was Norman Peale who once said, "The more you practice the art of thankfulness, the more you have to be thankful for." And so I'd like to build on that with a personal note of gratitude and appreciation for not only the folks that come and spend their evenings with us here in City Council chambers, but for those who choose to watch us on cable. I don't know if you have sleeping problems or things, but we're really glad that you choose to tune in. Whether you're at the post office or at the grocery store or along any of our amazing districts or sporting events here within the city, I always find it remarkable when folks come up and say, "Hey, I saw you on TV," and then the path goes one of two directions, right? It's like, "Oh, I really like that thing," or "Man, that was terrible. What were you thinking?" And that's fantastic, right? That's what we're here for. That's what you elected us to do, is to bring our best to the community and to receive your feedback. So I wanted to thank the folks that take that time to watch us on cable. And if you need some sleeping aids above and beyond our council meetings, let us know. We can help you with that. And finally, please just please hug somebody you love, because they need it more than you think they do, and it'll do you some good too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Vellani?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I would like to echo the comments of Jess Worrell from the food pantry. Food insecurity is a real thing for, unfortunately, some of our residents and surrounding neighborhoods. So if you have even just a little bit to give, whether it's through physical donations, putting stuff in our little food pantries, reminding people that those are always available, it's always a great thing. So if you have the opportunity, or maybe your employer does, it's a great way to help strengthen our community. The Environmental Advisory Committee, the next meeting is March 19th at 6:30 p.m. in the Public Safety Building on the second floor, and that meeting is open to all. From the Berkley Area Chamber, sponsorships are available because summer and our art festivals are right around the corner. So the Berkley Art Bash, which is the 12-mile festival on June 8th, has sponsorships available, as does the Street Art Festival, which is the Coolidge Festival on July 13th. So you can reach out to the Berkley Chamber if you are interested in sponsoring either of those events. Our March Chamber Chat is March 15th at 8:30 a.m. at the American Legion. So no registration necessary. You can just show up and connect with some of your fellow residents and business owners there. And lastly, I would like to remind everybody that March is National Reading Month. So it is a great time to pick up a book, get lost in a great story, whether it is fiction, nonfiction, whatever is your jam. And also that our public library has a multitude of books and videos and music for everybody to borrow. And there's also a very special therapy doodle who will be making several reading visits there this month, and some opportunities to sign up are still available. So she loves to read with everybody, or as Councilmember Baker said, also gives great hugs if you're in need of one of those. So with that, I am done.
Thank you. Very good at that. Councilmember Patterson?
The Planning Commission met for a lengthy meeting last week, went almost to 11. There was 3 items on the agenda, 2 special land use, one for a business on first floor on Coolidge for an office there. The second was a daycare on Mortensen and a residential housing 6 to 12 children. And the third one was a Jewish community center, new site on Woodward. So very exciting stuff at the Planning Commission. Their next meeting, if there's not a special meeting first, which I'm thinking there will be because I got that email, will be March 19th. So March 19th will be their next official meeting.
Thank you very much. Mr. Baumgarten?
Just an update. We're in the midst of our budget cycle right now. Finance Director Johnson's been working hard on getting all the departmental budgets together into a draft document. I want to thank each of our staff and our directors from our various departments who have spent the last month or so compiling a list of needs and items that we would like to see funded. We are on course to having this public draft out to the community in early April, which is going to be 3 to 4 weeks ahead of our usual timeline. So we're very proud of getting that out to the community a lot earlier. It will absolutely have some robust discussion around it. The city has to prioritize its funding in light of revenues not being where we'd like them to be at this point in the city's history. And so just be on the lookout for that. Again, lots of conversation to be had around funding priorities. So I'm appreciative of council for adopting a strategic plan that has been incredibly helpful in guidance of our department directors. So I am appreciative of the leadership shown by this body.
Thank you very much. Madam Attorney? Anything tonight?
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
All right, thanks very much. Well, you all have heard my voice enough tonight, so I'm going to keep it very short. Parks and Rec, next meeting, the advisory board will be April 11th at 7 p.m. at the community center, and the library board will next meet on March 20th at 7 p.m. at the library. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support. Motion made by Councilmember Patterson with support from Councilmember Villani. Ms. Mitchell, would you please call the roll?
Patterson?
Yes.
Villani?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Hennon?
Yes.
Gavin?
Yes. The Monday, March 4th, 2024 meeting of the Berkeley City Council is adjourned.